Have you ever thought about the boundary between life and death? What really happens when your final breath leaves your body? This is a question humanity has pondered for thousands of years, from ancient philosophers to modern scientists. Is death truly the end, or is it merely a door opening to a new journey? Today, I will share with you the extraordinary story of a woman who crossed that boundary. Not only did she glimpse the other side, but she also returned with a profound message about life, death, and the power of love. This is the story of Cordelia Winchester, a Seattle emergency nurse who was clinically dead for nearly 5 minutes and came back to recount what she experienced. A story that will make you reflect on your own life. Cordelia Winchester was no stranger to death. As an emergency room nurse, she had witnessed countless patients face moments of life and death. The chaos of emergencies, the blaring ambulance sirens, and the flashing lights in the ER had all become a part of her daily life. But Cordelia had never imagined that one day she would be the one lying on the emergency table while her colleagues fought to save her life. At 32, she was a healthy, energetic woman with a bright future ahead. But life always has its way of surprising us in ways we can never predict. That day began like any other. Cordelia was on her shift at the hospital, reviewing patient charts, talking to patients, and assisting with emergency cases. But amidst the busyness, she felt something was wrong. A sudden wave of breathlessness hit her, forcing her to stop. A sharp pain spread through her chest, as if someone were squeezing the life out of her heart. Cordelia tried to stay calm, but her body refused to cooperate. Within minutes, she felt herself losing control, and then everything went black. Her colleagues quickly realized what was happening and rushed her to the emergency room. The diagnosis revealed that she had suffered a massive pulmonary embolism. A large blood clot had blocked the flow of blood to her lungs, depriving her body of oxygen. Her heart stopped beating for nearly 5 minutes. For the medical team, it was a race against time. But while they fought to bring her back, Cordelia's soul began a different journey. Cordelia shared that the moment her heart stopped, an extraordinary sensation overtook her. She felt herself gently lifting out of her body, weightless and free, as though every ounce of pain, fear, and tension had vanished. In its place was a profound sense of release, as if all the burdens she had carried throughout her life, physical, emotional, and mental, had dissolved. For the first time, she felt completely unencumbered. She described floating above the room, watching everything unfold with surreal clarity. She saw the bright lights, the beeping machines, and her colleagues working frantically to save her. Faces she knew so well were focused and urgent, voices calling out commands with precision. Yet from her elevated perspective, Cordelia felt no fear or panic, only a peaceful detachment, as if she were an observer in a play, rather than the central figure in a life-or-death moment. Her body below seemed familiar, yet distant, no longer her. Instead, she felt her true essence existed beyond the physical form. Time seemed to fade as she entered a new state of being. Then she felt a pull, a magnetic force drawing her toward a radiant, glowing light. The light wasn't blinding or overwhelming, but carried an indescribable warmth, love, and familiarity. It wasn't just a sight, but an energy she felt deeply within her. Far from fearing it, Cordelia felt irresistibly drawn to it, as if it were welcoming her home. The light promised comfort and belonging, like an old friend extending a loving embrace. Flowing effortlessly toward the light, She felt enveloped by its warmth and love. In that moment, she understood. Death wasn't an end, but a transition, a doorway to something infinitely greater. It wasn't the conclusion she had once imagined, but the beginning of a beautiful, limitless journey. And she felt ready to step through and embrace whatever lay beyond. After witnessing the scene in the emergency room, Cordelia felt herself being drawn toward a radiant beam of light. This light wasn't blinding or uncomfortable. Instead, it brought with it an overwhelming sense of warmth and infinite love. Cordelia described it as resembling a gentle embrace, welcoming her home. Within the light, she no longer felt loneliness or fear. Instead, she experienced absolute peace, a state she had never known before. The beam of light seemed to be more than just light. It felt like a living entity. It communicated with her, not through words, but through emotions. These emotions were so powerful that they dissolved all her worries and every burden she had ever carried. She realized that the light wasn't only around her, but also within her, as though it was a part of her that she had never discovered before. As she merged with the light, Cordelia noticed that time seemed to stand still. The light didn't just guide her, but revealed to her that she was part of something far greater. In that moment, every question she had ever had about life and death seemed to be answered without the need for words. Enveloped by the light, she felt as though she was stepping through a door into an entirely new world. Here, Cordelia encountered someone she recognized instantly, even though she had never met him before. Jesus Christ. His presence filled her with an overwhelming sense of unconditional love, a feeling far beyond anything she had ever known. Just by looking into his eyes, Cordelia understood that every mistake, every pain, and every hurt in her life was forgiven. Without a single word, she felt his message, that she was not alone, that she was loved, and that every soul in this world holds profound value and meaning. What moved Cordelia the most was how Jesus conveyed forgiveness without even a hint of judgment. She realized that he didn't need her to explain or justify the mistakes she had made during her earthly life. His mere presence was enough to dissolve all her worries and guilt. He was like a river of light, washing away the invisible burdens she had carried for so many years. Cordelia felt that no matter how weak or flawed she had been, his love had never left her, and it never would. His love was eternal. Cordelia described how, in that moment, all boundaries between life and death, between heaven and earth, seemed to disappear. The world she had once known suddenly felt small and insignificant compared to the vastness of God's love. This love not only transformed the way she saw herself, but also made her realize that everyone was created from this same love. Each person holds a unique and irreplaceable purpose in his divine plan for the universe. Jesus told Cordelia that everyone carries wounds, pain, and mistakes. Yet he reminded her that no soul is beyond redemption. This brought to mind the words from Matthew 11:28. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." She understood that his love was the ultimate source of comfort and healing, surpassing all the limits of the earthly world. Jesus guided Cordelia through various realms of the afterlife, offering her profound insights into its vastness. The first place she visited was the Garden of Peace, a realm where life pulsed in every detail. Every flower and blade of grass seemed alive, glowing with a radiant energy. This was a sanctuary for souls who had lived with love and service, a place of rest and growth. The souls here weren't static. they continued to evolve, learning to love more deeply, understand more fully, and prepare for greater missions in their eternal journey. The next realm was the Hall of Learning, which felt like a vast library of memories and emotions. Here, souls reviewed their lives through a lens of love, seeing the ripple effects of their actions. A kind word could spread warmth across generations, while a hurtful one could leave lasting pain. In this space, there was no judgment, only reflection and growth. Jesus explained that this was a place of enlightenment, where souls learned to become better and more compassionate. Cordelia realized that no action was insignificant. A simple hug or word of encouragement could transform someone's life. Every small act carried immense meaning, shaping the flow of existence. She understood that life, both on earth and beyond, was a sacred opportunity to create, love, and contribute to a greater purpose. Through this journey, Cordelia came to see the interconnectedness of all things and the infinite potential of every soul. These realms revealed to her that life and the afterlife were not separate, but part of a continuous cycle of growth and love. Cordelia was also shown glimpses of the future. Jesus explained that every act of love, every word of forgiveness, creates positive ripples that spread throughout the universe. However, choosing hatred and selfishness sends ripples of pain and destruction. Cordelia saw two potential futures for humanity: one of peace and love, where people lived in harmony with one another and with nature, and another, darker future, where selfishness and destruction had pushed humanity to the brink of collapse. Jesus emphasized that the future of humanity depended on the choices we make in the present. Upon returning to her body, Cordelia felt as though she had been reborn. She no longer feared death, but instead cherished life more deeply than ever. She began to see people not just as individuals, but as souls on their own unique journeys. She realized that everyone, even those who had caused her pain, deserved love and forgiveness. Cordelia came to understand that death was not an end, but a transition, a step in the eternal journey of the soul. The final message Cordelia brought back from her near-death experience was the transformative power of love. To her, love was no longer just an emotion or an abstract concept. It was the most powerful force in the universe. Every act of love, no matter how small, carries profound impact, creating ripples of positivity that spread far and wide. A simple hug, a kind word, or an act of forgiveness could change someone's life, and perhaps even your own. Cordelia's message was simple, yet profound. Live with love, forgiveness, and compassion. Even the smallest actions can create monumental changes. Love is the thread that connects us all, she said, and it is love that will shape the future of the entire universe. If this story has touched your heart, consider sharing it to spread a message of love and hope. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring and meaningful stories. And feel free to leave a comment to share your thoughts. Every voice matters and helps strengthen our community. Thank you for watching, and always remember, love is the most powerful thing we have.